Welcome back to New Small Garage. As you can see, we got the Tao Baja 200 Sport here. Man, this thing's a fun buggy. If you watched our last video, you see us went out, we had fun in this thing. It's a really good buggy, good suspension, but now it's time for a routine maintenance. Make sure all the nuts and bolts and everything's safe. And if you got one of these buggies, you have to do it. It's maintenance. These things, you know, they need the maintenance. So for the wheels, 17. For the cage, it's an Allen wrench, number 6. For all the body panels, a number 10 wrench and a number 5 Allen wrench. You know, you have to get underneath here, hold the bolt, and tighten everything up. Tighten all the panels, all the sides. Let's see, for the shocks, I'll use a 17 and a crescent wrench. 17 and hold the other side with the crescent wrench, do all the shocks. For the A-arms, you're going to use a 19 and a crescent wrench. So it's pretty basic tools that anybody should have. Let me get started on this thing. I always start out with the Allens first. I do the cage. Cage is most important. And then what I like to do, I like to go ahead and do the body panels. That way all the Allen bolts and everything are done, and then I start out on the A-arms, because on the frame, the A-arms and the front wheels are the most important. So I like to do those first. Then I'll go around and do everything else. Also, you'll need a number 10 socket. There's some bolts on the cage that are 10. Most everything's metric on these things. Mainly a 10, 17, 19, so a basic set of metric wrenches will do the trick. And a crescent wrench, man. Crescent wrench is good for anything. So that's nice and solid. Alright. I'll do the body panels in a minute. If I do them off camera, I'm not going to bore all you guys with me doing body panels and all these little bolts. Just want to get you the idea of what basic tools you need and how easy it is to do it, and just keep your buggy up and running and safe. These A-arms are very important because, you know, these A-arms and shocks, you know, as you're going, they take a beating. So, and you know, stuff comes loose. They're moving all the time. Every bump you hit. So after every ride, I always check the A-arms and the front wheels. Most important. You know, they take a beating and stuff comes loose. Okay, so that's the A-arm. There's 4 on each side. Like I said, a crescent wrench and a 19mm does the trick. Then on the shocks, use the same crescent wrench and the 17mm. Don't mind the chickens, guys. Your chickens live on a ranch.
Did you see the size of that chicken?
Alright, so that's shocks, A-arms, most important. the cage. The paneling I'm not going to do on camera, I'll do that off camera. I mean, it's pretty basic, you know what it is. There's a whole bunch of them, we'd be here for hours. Also, always check your chain in the back and all the bolts in the back. You know, this cage sometimes they'll rattle loose. Seats are always pretty solid. Other than that, just go through every nut and bolt. It's pretty basic procedure. I mean, if you've got any basic tools, like I say, a set of wrenches from Harbor Freight, and a crescent wrench, and a couple Allen wrenches, anybody can do it. Alright, welcome back. So I went through the whole buggy, I got everything tightened up. I started going around the whole back, all this tightened up, the 10 millimeters, shocks, wheels, everything tight. And then I noticed a little problem. What we had here is this exhaust is loose. This ain't a common problem, but this one's loose from the inside. It's not a common problem, but it could happen. If it happened to this one, it can happen to yours. So I'm going to show you how to fix it. We're going to take the side cover off in a few minutes, and I'm going to show you how to fix it from the inside. So that's about it. I already went through the whole buggy. Everything looks good. You know, everything's solid. One loose bolt here for that exhaust, but I'm going to show you how to fix it if it happens to yours. Stay tuned. Alright, here we go. So now I'm going to show you how to fix this loose bolt from the inside. What we're going to do is we're going to take off these 7 5/16 bolts and take off the clutch cover and tighten the bolt. But first we have to take off the exhaust. So all the tools you'll need a 12 millimeter socket to take off the exhaust. You'll need a 5/16 socket to take off all the outer primary bolts, and then a crescent wrench to tighten the inner bolt. So let's get started on this thing. Pull off the exhaust. Start off by pulling off the exhaust, the 2 bolts on the head, the 12 millimeter, and then pull off there's a rubber hose onto the exhaust. You can pull it off and start applying. Pull off this rubber hose up here. So there's 2 12 millimeters on the head, pulls off the exhaust. And this one. Pull your pipe down and around. The pipe will just come out, set it out of the way. Don't lose your bolts, put your bolts out of the way. Then we'll go for our 5/16 on the socket. Okay, there's 7 of these. Okay, all the other ones are the same size like this. This first one right here will be a long one. Just remember that. This one, the only long one, will go right here and it goes all the way through into the case. That's why that one's longer. So when you pull your last one off, this cover will slide off. You might have to wiggle it a little bit, side to side. It'll slide off, and this is your clutch basket, and all your clutch stuff. So then you take your crescent wrench. There's a nut in here. And what that does, it just tightens the shaft up. That's it. Tighten that up. Tightens this all up. I would suggest if you're going to go ahead and go this far, if this happens to you, go ahead and put some red Loctite on there and make it a lot better, and so you don't have to do it again. So I got this one on there pretty snug. It's not going to go nowhere. Put it back on. tighten these bolts up. So pretty much that's just going to be it, and then you just put your pipe back on and everything. I don't have to go on camera with you. You know, if you took it off, you're going to be able to put it back on. So it's pretty much that basic. And also, I would put a little bit of red Loctite on this bolt too. When you put your exhaust back on, put yourself a little red Loctite on there. You know what I mean? And, you know, because this exhaust gets a lot of vibration and it heats, so it expands. And you know what I mean? From the heat. So just make sure red Loctite, red Loctite. The bolts on the head, I wouldn't put red Loctite on those. Yeah, I mean, you could, but I don't think you need to. But definitely on this one, these ones are known to come loose, and the one on the inside. So that's about it. It's pretty basic. Anybody can do it themselves. I just wanted to show you the problem and give you a solution how to fix it, and pretty simple tools to do it. So pretty much anybody can do it themselves. All right, so that's about it today. Everything's tightened up. You know, we had fun on these buggies. I mean, everything's safe, roll-cage safe, everything looks good, it still runs good. It's a solid buggy, but you just gotta, you know, tighten the bolts every once in a while. Maintenance, oil change. You'll see in another video the oil change, and you've often see. Check out the other video if you haven't seen it of us having fun on this buggy. It's a really fun buggy, good suspension. I mean, it's for a kid. For kids, it's really fun, and even for an adult, man. Me and the guys, we have fun on this thing. So. There it is there. You know, if it happens to you, easy fix. Pretty much anything on these things are easy fix. And the good thing is about them is the parts are really accessible for these things. So all you gotta do is go on the website and everything's, you know what I mean, there. If you break something, you know, when you have fun, sometimes things break. And you gotta fix it, and you gotta maintain it. So there it is there. Alright, man, if you have one of these buggies, have fun with it. If there are any problems, you can always message us and stuff, and we can put a video if you need one of how to fix your buggy. Alright, man. And there it is there. Problem fixed. Exhaust tight. Both sides tight. It's solid now. Easy fix.